the maybe most competitive fight on the card could be my next guest taking on Cody Crowley. Josesito Lopez, how you doing?
Just counting down the hours now.
So you got this big fight with Cody Crowley. He's a, he, in my opinion, and you may agree, you may disagree. You may look in the mirror and see a kind of I don't know if it's you want to call him a mirror image, a guy who likes to mix it up and much like yourself. And is that the way you look at this fight?
I see him in a similar position that I was in, some years back. He's a young, hungry up and comer. Undefeated record. He hasn't tasted defeat yet. So he has a lot to prove. But I'm more than prepared, and I won't let that happen.
Your last couple fights, the win over John Molina and the win over Francisco Santana, both knockout victories. The close loss to Keith Thurman, and which a lot of people thought, your hand should have been raised. If you count that, you probably feel that you haven't lost a fight probably in about 7 years since the Berto fight.
Well, yeah, since the Berto fight, since I made the change to my trainer now, Robert Garcia, I've made a big difference. It's made a big difference in my career. I feel better than ever, stronger than ever. As I've taken out my last two opponents, some tough, gritty fighters. That's been against some of the top guys and haven't been knocked out. So I feel stronger and smarter and better than ever.
A guy like you, we, guys like me, we give so much credit to because. After the back-to-back losses to Canelo Alvarez and Marcos Maidana, and I'm sure you read the articles, everyone wrote you off, and that was 10 years ago. And here you are still not only just competing, but winning big fights over good fighters and back on major pay-per-views. What do you attest to that?
Show the world, show everyone to never give up, no matter what. I've had a couple bumps in the road. I fell down, but I haven't stayed down. I've gotten myself up. Dusted myself off and get back to work and fight amongst the best fighters in the world. And I'm going to prove myself this Saturday night that I am one of the best fighters in the world.
If I would ask you the question, especially after those two losses, if I would ask you this question 10 years ago, if I would have said, you know what, you'll be fighting on a major pay-per-view, Dallas, Texas Stadium, 30, 40, 50,000 people in 2012, if I would have asked you that question, what would you have said to me?
I'm going to get back there somehow. It's hard to see something like that after, big setbacks or a big fall. It's hard to imagine that. There's doubts in your mind at all times. There's been doubts in my mind at many times in my career. But when you really lock down and focus and zero in on what you want and what you're willing to do and what work you're willing to put in, there's no sky's the limit. There's nothing impossible.
So you mentioned Robert Garcia. How many fights now is this with you and Robert?
I believe it would have to be five, and ever since I made the move to Robert Garcia, it's really turned my career around. I feel great. Not only am I getting the best trainer, the best overall team, I'm going in there a lot smarter, using the same tools that I have now, just managing them much better.
Yeah, obviously, the main event's a big welterweight fight. This fight's a welterweight fight. Obviously, the goal is to win, but is a little bit part of you saying, you know what, I need to win and look good in this fight because, you would have maybe the platform at a post-fight press conference say, hey, Errol, or you, Dennis, whoever wins it, I'm here. I deserve this as much as anybody. Has that kind of entered into your mind a little bit?
I know that I deserve to fight some of the best fighters in the world, but I don't look forward, don't look ahead. First things first, I got to take care of business on Saturday, come out healthy, come out clean, and then I could think of something ahead. But I'm zeroed in and focused on Saturday night against my opponent, and I'm not looking ahead now one day.
You've he's coming off the good win over Abdul Karov in his last fight. Probably the biggest name on his ledger. Like we said, Canelo, Maidana, Bordeaux, the list goes on and on. You know, you're one of those guys, have fight, will travel, you know. How much does that experience play into what will happen on Saturday night in your eyes?
There's a lot to do. You know, I think back at myself when I was, you know, when I had 21 fights, and I thought I knew a lot. I thought I had a lot of experience. I thought I've seen it all. You know, it's looking at myself now. I knew nothing. I knew very little, at least. Even no matter how I felt. The experience level inside the ring is something else. I've seen it all. I can adapt. I can change things around. I can, you know, I'm smart enough and wise enough to and have the great enough team to, you know, make changes inside the ring. And if need so, that's what I'll do on Saturday.
And how much of, you know, doing this stuff, talking to media, you know, making the rounds to sell a big pay-per-view. Obviously, you've been on these kind of stages before. This is kind of his first go round at that, with everything that goes around on fighting on a big pay-per-view. Do you remember when you were first fighting on these major cards, the experience? How much does that experience of going through this whole week play into what goes on Saturday night?
Already know it's part of the business. It's part of the job. I'm here for a job, and my job is Saturday night. There is things that I have to take care of promotional wise before the fight, and you know, I take that gracefully. I enjoy even seeing some of the fans and meeting the fans, especially in the state of Texas, where I've always gotten a lot of love and support. If I don't fight close to home near my friends and family, the next best place to fight is here in Texas.
I guess maybe the question I was asking, you've done this before. I mean, you could do this with your blindfolded, do everything, all the press conferences, media workouts, everything you guys are doing. He probably hasn't done that. Does that take a toll on you, maybe doing it for the first time?
It might, but I don't look into that too much. My job is to beat him with my skills on Saturday. You know, there is some things that go on, you know, in the week leading to the fight that can distract you a little bit if you are easily distracted. But no, my job's Saturday night, and it's not over till the last bell rings.
There you have it. What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you this Saturday night live on pay-per-view, Showtime pay-per-view from AT&T Stadium in Dallas, actually Arlington, Texas. Josesito Lopez taking on the undefeated welterweight Cody Crowley. And what I said, I mean, that this, you know, got this and the main event, two fights on Showtime. I think it's a spectacular night. I think you guys may steal the show on Saturday.
And at least I want to let everybody know, thank you for the love and support. Make sure you tune in on Showtime pay-per-view and tune in early. You know, and it's easily going to be the fight of the night. But as always, Josesito Lopez is going to come to bring it.
Well, one last question is: Are we going to get another Riverside Rocky moment on Saturday night?
Yes, you are.
There you have it, Josesito. Thank you for just a few minutes of your time. Look forward to seeing you in the ring and on the TV screen on Saturday night. We wish you best of luck. We'll talk to you soon.